Hello, welcome everyone. I'm back with another video for Yu-Gi-Oh! And this time I'm gonna be showcasing the 60 card version of Lightsworn. I added the zombie engine and let's see how it does. So in this first game, I misplayed a lot and also I forgot to put Mizuki in this deck. So this is basically a game without Mizukis. My opponent is playing True Draco 6 Sams. I think he was pretty new to the deck, so he didn't know the combo as much. But he still tried to go off as much as he can. He could have destroyed the Shin Dojo and make destroy Gefuma and make Shin, but he forgot about it. So now I normal summon my Scorpio, and I try to get my Brilliant Fusion intact. I forgot to overlay this to make an MX Invoker and make or summon the Hero Challenger, and then make this as Radiant and then activate Brilliant Fusion. And this part too is I forgot to use my Seraphonite's normal summon. Well, actually I couldn't since my field was filled up. So now I use my MX Invoker to try to get my 1000 Blades. And at this point, I'm just trying to make a board enough to where I can get rid of his board. So I succeeded in doing it by just, just attacking over every card he has. So my opponent, he has the soul charge, so the game's not lost yet. But I think, yeah, I have Fairy Tale Stone in the grave, so it was kind of hard for any comeback to occur, since I could stop almost every play. He could have soul charged the level 9 too, before he shuffled, so maybe he could have done that, at least make VFD and I can't really do anything. So at this point, all I have to do is just try to stop his plays. And since Shin is taking out his extra monster zone, he can't really do much. Unless he plays Link monsters, which he might have. Yes, some Links. So at this point, I pretty much have a big advantage since I have 30 cards in the grave. Or had 30 cards. And at this point, since I had my extra monster filled, I had to make room, so I used Fairy Tale Snow to banish my cards so that I have room to make another rank 4. And he has a lot of 6 Sams in the grave to protect a Shien, so I couldn't attack for a game this turn. And at this point, my deck was running thin, so I had to try to finish him as soon as possible. So my opponent set double-edged sword and pass, and at this point I felt confident that I had game. So all I had to do was just get rid of my Minerva so I can summon again, and I used my zombies in the grave to get rid of his cards. And at this point, I didn't use Tornado Dragon because I thought that it would be like a true Draco trap card, so I waited until the end to use it. So my Tornado Dragon just pops it, and he uses the double-edged sword technique to bring 2, but that's basically the same thing as scooping up since he takes the damage at the end. Alright. So for the second replay. In the second replay, my opponent gets to start again, so he uses Shien Dojo, he tries to use True Draco Phoenix from the grave to add a card, but I ashed, and he basically had to end his turn there. And this is one of the hands where what happens if you don't open Grassy Screener. So at this point, my other win condition is just trying to summon VLS and just attack through. So at this point, I got the plant in the graveyard, which gives me gives me a light and a dark. So at this point, I was able to summon BLS and just attack for game. There's a lot of version that you can play with Lightsworns, and I think this is one of my favorite ones too. Alright, so the third replay for True Draco 6 Sams. I believe I gotta start first. I didn't have a really good opening hand, but one of the plays that you could do is just summon Solitaire, use its effect to summon Unizombie, Unizombies effect to send Mizuki, Mizuki to summon Solitaire, and just make Omega and just sit on it. Here I didn't open a very good hand, but it was enough for me to survive for the turn, so I snapped the card. And he searches again. As soon as he sets 2, I use my Twin Twister and just destroyed it. He probably should have just used Dragon Diagram and not set the other card. So at this point, I Omega so that I can use Gofu. Gofu also helps make the Link 3 Lightsworn, since if you have a Unizombie, you could just use those 3 as material since they're all dark and different types. So I made Curious Lightsworn, I send Wolf, I believe, and I gotta send 3 more cards, and now I just use my zombie engine in the grave, the one that I milled. And at this point, this is exactly 8,000, which was pretty cool. I wasn't calculating at the time, but I felt like even if I didn't have game, I would use Unizombies to send Mizuki and then make Omega. And at that point, I would have 2 Omegas, and now it's double the trouble. So the next game is against Spirals. And I get to start first. So here I pretty much should have had game. I misplayed terribly. So here I use Mizuki, or I use Zombie to send Mizuki. I made my first Omega, which was, it's good. Use Mizuki to bring back Unizombie to discard it from my hand. That way I can make another Omega. And at this point, I probably should have just used Omega and just sit and pass. At this point, I was being really, like, I just messed up completely. I had Fairy Tail Snow to stop any plays that he could have done. So here, 1-for-1, when he summoned the Quick Fix, I could just Fairy Tail Snow. And after that, he would have like basically no plays at that point. But unfortunately, I did not do that. I probably should have just made the Proxy Dragon. That way, I could get rid of the Fairy Tail Snow. And once Fairy Tail Snow in the grave, I could just use my graveyard again. But at this point, my opponent goes off. He even has a Soul Charge too. So I'm pretty much in big trouble. So he goes to Sylvan Princess Sprite, and he just keeps getting these advantage. He does what Spiral do best, spam. They summon the Super Agent, and at this point, all I have to do is just watch and just see what happens. I'm lucky that there are sleepers in the graveyard, since he can't add it to his hand unless he uses Firewall's effect or use Double Helix. So right now he's just able to attack, and at this point I only have 1250, so I'm in danger zone. He sends back the sleeper, and I get both my Omegas, but he has the Spiral Utility Wire, so I basically have to try to bait it out. So I attack over it to bait it out, and now I could try to do my plays, but unfortunately it was not enough. He max sees me, and at that point it's hard to make a comeback. I probably should have made Black Rose. Yeah, I probably should have made Black Rose. At least you get rid of the whole field. So I use my Omega to bring back Mizuki, and at this point my opponent just goes off in style. He uses 1000 Us Restrict, steal my monster, and there's really nothing I can do. All I have to do is just watch. He tries to guess monsters, but he got it wrong, it was spells. He gets Burrow Load, and at this point, all he has to do, he doesn't even need the Soul Charge. Soul Charge is just in case he loses everything. So now he makes the World Chalice, Ningirsu, so he gets to draw one. And now he has enough for a game. I try to just stall the game with Fairy Tail Snow, and it didn't work. He eventually gets rid of all my cards, and that's enough for game. Or I got enough for one more, and then he attacks for sleeper, and that's game. So right now, the last replay. So this game, I got to start first. He got to start first. Summoned Super Agent, and he only said one pass, so he had a lot of hand traps in this game. So I didn't want to lose to hand traps, so I basically baited out all the stuff I could do before I used Grass is Greener. So I've used that Grass is Greener now, and I'm in very good position now. And this is what zombies can do best once, you know, the grave is filled. At this point, he used a lot of hand traps and traps, so I felt like making Trishula was the best play here. So now I got rid of his whole hand, and basically he's handless. And his graveyard is pretty much empty, just the 2 hand traps. He top decks Spiral Tough, but at this point, there's really nothing much that can be done. I top decked the Trick Clown, and then I basically use that as bait so that I could summon Raiden and get my Trick Clown on the field for free. I use Raiden's effect, I milled the wolf, and now all I have to do is just attack, and he has no cards. So my only concern is, you know, maybe he got Spiral Resort. So instead I just made Tornado Dragon, and that way if he has Resort, I could just pop it. And the next card he top decks is the Spiral Resort, so at this point he just scooped. So let's get to the deck profile. So there's a lot of cards that I run, but the one combo that I wanted to teach is that whenever you banish Spirit Master, you can destroy 1 face-up card on the field. So what you wanted to do is, with Fairy Tail Snow, you want to banish the Solitaire and the Spirit Master. So what that does is you pop 1 on the field, and then you can special summon the Spirit Master. So that means that you can use it again later on. The other combos is Solitaire, where you just summon you special summon Unizombie and then just make the Omega. And this is pretty much my deck. There's 60 cards. It's a lot to go over. And that's about it. I would probably add the Utopia engine towards this, so that way you can get over Masterpiece if it ever happens. I will probably take out maybe Baguska, and maybe not sure what else. Maybe Abyss Dweller for the Utopia package. So that's it for the video. If you enjoyed it, please click the like button. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Thank you.